Try the sauce. I'm soaked in it.
Oh, I could lick you all day.
As I suspected, 32 flavor.
You have the biggest dick I've ever seen on a man.
Welcome, everyone. How are you all doing tonight? And yes, I know my camera is off. There's a reason for that. The evil embodiment known as the seasonal allergies are back with a vengeance. And they're practically at this rate, Judas Priest style, screaming for vengeance. But, however, the show must go on, and I will not let that hold me down. For we have our usual dudes and a guest tonight. And we'll talk well, the few good news stuff that comes out from the, let's just say the mainstream side, if you want to even call it that. And of course, showcasing some lesser known stuff and just having just fun, pretty much, drinking booze, talking comics. I mean, what, the standard Friday night? Yeah, that's how we do things here. So, anyways, let's acknowledge some faces here. I see POJ's Helicopter Tours. Oh, okay, we're already 15 in here. I love it. FKAC 2005, Time Rated Cygnus. Vulcan lives. How's it going, buddy? Gilded King Vince Womack. How you doing? Alabama Wyatt. What's going on, dude? Keely Chow. Jonathan Conroy. Hey, Oakley Vandal. My friend Dave C. What's up, Neil D. Bud Martin. RJ Godzilla 81. What's going on, dudes? Wow, oh, 18. Oh, man, guys, they're coming in huge tonight. I love it. I love this. Thank you guys for being here early. Clearly, you're all ready to party too. You know what? That's the way the damn cookie crumbles. So let's have some fun tonight. All right. We'll bring in our first gentleman here. You all know him. And of course you love him. He is the man of a million wise words. How's it going, Pablo?
Howdy ho! Hey, what's up, brother?
Oh,
I'm
Pablo.
I'm falling down a rabbit hole that I never thought I would, because there was a model slash entertainer slash adult actress, if you know what I mean, that was really popular around the 2003. And she was really connected to the Matrix for some reason. So she appeared on every single search that you did on Google for the Matrix. Yeah. I found her Instagram randomly.
Ooh,
She's
nice.
old now. She's really old now.
Yeah, of course. It's been what? I mean, what? It's almost
20
25
years.
years since the first Matrix movie? Come on.
Yeah, but this makes me feel really old.
I've said on Midnight's Edge that, several times that if the Matrix never came out when it did, sadly, we would never have it today. It was one of those things that it came out at a time when we were brave and taking risks and being ambitious and really shooting for the stars. Nowadays, the mainstream is the embodiment of safeness, which is against what the beauty of art truly is. So it's really unfortunate, but I still love that first movie. The sequels don't exist. We don't speak the existence of those sequels here.
Okay,
especially
I want
Colonel Sanders at the end.
I want to argue about that. About Revolutions, about is Revolutions and before is Reloaded, right? And the Animatrix. The Animatrix is absolutely brilliant, by the way. If you haven't seen the Animatrix, just go and watch the Animatrix.
I know of it, but I cannot stand Reloaded and Revolutions. I feel like Reloaded is slightly better just because some of the action is better, but that's that's a whole argument of it's a polished turd.
Here's the thing. Watch it now. No, don't watch it with the view of that time. Watch it now. And there's a lot of things that were predictive of basically everything that's going on right now.
Okay.
The Merovingian is a good character if you are talking about somebody like Trump, a disruptor, right? Somebody that is there just to basically create chaos in the system. That is good for business. And any economist will tell you what he was doing was brilliant. It was disruption. Disruption creates a lot of opportunity. Also, if you think about the architect, here everything that they are, here everything they are saying about how they want to manipulate everyone.
Oh yeah. Oh,
The
I remember
activation.
that stuff. Yeah, it was predictive. It
Yeah.
was just he went on for about 20 minutes too long. And I'm just like, bro, you
Oh
better
yeah.
have a famous bull at this rate. Otherwise, you're just boring me with where this is going. He was right. I'll give you that. But bro, lay
Also,
off the
there's
biscuits, man. And at
yeah.
least give me the gravy.
Think about the culture on that moment, and the culture of that moment was literally an adult actress was appearing on the Matrix search results. Was because the whole algorithm was in basically infancy. Anything was working as it should. You could manipulate their search results in the most gruesome ways possible. Right, that's why Google started spending so much money to create the algorithm that they have right now. And what those movies were saying that will happen with those algorithms was what's going to happen, because basically humanity is so stupid to manipulate search results to the point where Google needs to intervene at the level that they are the ones to decide what is relevant or not. So you give the power to somebody to manipulate information to the level where they can manipulate society itself. And it all started because stupid internet stuff.
Oh, the internet. I love it. And, well, it gives me its conflicts. But
Yep.
the perks outweigh the cons.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I gotta acknowledge a few other human beings because we got 20 strong in here. What's up, Andy Masterson, Stephen M. Kal-El, Just Another Richard, Vin Zinger, aka Otaku, aka The Wheat Pillar. What's up, dudes? And yes, Vince, next week you will be the user formerly known as Gilded Kid. Kind of reminds me of Goldust, but he was the artist formerly known as Goldust. And Neil said, I gotta highlight because he's been keeping track of this for me. He says, for comics, I'm going through Firepower and loving it. What issue are you on, man? I know we spoke a little bit about that, and I remember you telling me you're really enjoying it, and I told you like I finished it. What issue are you on, brother? Let me know because I'm glad you're still reading it. It finishes great. I can at least say it's one of the few comics in recent years that, well, it holds on and it doesn't blow it at the end. You're on issue 9. Okay, good stuff. Yeah, dude. Oh, dude. You haven't even got to the best of the story. Builds and builds and builds. It's great. It definitely feels like it ended at the right time. It doesn't feel like it was like premature. It doesn't feel like it overstayed its welcome. It really ended at the right time, which I'll give Kirkman credit there. He really kind of kept it a little bit stripped down with this one. I mean, yeah, there's nothing throughout the 100 issue series. It has its place in the world once upon a time. But the fact that he went basically essentially somewhere between 34 and 36 issues overall, if you include the original trade, it's a really well told story. And the fact that it's practically for all ages too, which is even more impressive. I mean, that's a rare treat nowadays, and it revolves around a family as well. The core element is the family, which is once again another unusually shamed of form of storytelling is rooted in the family nowadays. So yeah, shout out to Mr. Kirkman for that. Okay, so Ironcaster is not here yet, but we got Pablo here, but we also have a gentleman here. And I gotta say, I gotta give a shout out and a thanks to Mr. Vulcan Lives for hooking me up with this gentleman. I will let him do his own intro because, well, we're kind of like, I know who he is. He probably knows who I am, but we don't really know each other. But we're going to get to know each other by night's end, and hopefully it'll be shared in good times, comics, and all that good jazz. Welcome to the show, Mr. Belmont Comics.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. How are you doing tonight on this Friday evening?
Well, it was 102 degrees today, so I've been trying to stay in. It's just really fucking hot, you know.
What are you in Colorado?
Yeah, I'm in Denver.
Okay. Yeah, a few of my buddies are in that state as well. Okay. Seems like there's quite a bit of you guys out there, man. It's like, man, I always feel like I got like go to like a Denver, Colorado thing, or there's got to get one going out there because it seems like a good amount of people are out that way. Very interestingly enough.
Yeah, I love Colorado. I've been here since 2000. Yeah, January 4th, 2000.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, wow. You know, I could have swore you were probably as like old to a point where you were born in the year 2000, judging by how you look. You look at you're probably 24, not you're saying you've been.
No, I was born in the 70s, believe it or not.
Dude, no, you gotta
Yeah.
be lying.
I was
to me.
born in 1977, man.
Good for you, man. I'm proud of you. That's incredible. The fact that you can look like you're freaking 30 years younger than you actually are. That's good, man.
Yeah, I think it's the weed.
You know, maybe it is. I mean, I couldn't tell you, but I'm happy for you. What's this fellow's name? We'll let him do his what's your first name, sir?
My name is Justin. Most people just call me Belmont.
For Belmont Press Comics. So Justin Belmont. So do you ever get to do the Belmont? Justin Belmont.
The what?
No.
Just a
Because
band?
JB James Bond missed opportunity. Oh.
No, but everybody gives me shit because of with that video game Castlevania.
Oh no,
Simon
I don't
Belmont and all
understand
that.
that. That's news to me.
Nice reference. Yep.
So every time I get a hotel room or something, I always get a Castlevania joke. Something like, you could be hunting vampires later or whatever, something like that.
Oh, we got a celeb here. Dillard Draws.
Dillard.
Welcome to the show, Mr. Dillard. I'm looking forward to your upcoming comic with Yellow Flash. Ask what his connection to socks is. Is it like the Rock and Sock connection? Like, is this like a Rock and Mick Foley thing, or like what is this whole deal here?
You have to watch the Man Cave. We do a show
Okay.
on Thursday nights, and we kind of bust each other's balls. Some of the guys drink. I like to smoke.
Ooh, sounds like a show I'd fit in. Okay, now you got my attention. Go
yeah,
on.
so if you want to come on sometime.
Would love to. We'll have to talk after a sweet dude. Oh man, this seems like okay. You guys have that of your own equivalent show over on your corner as well. I love it. Oh, that's freaking awesome. And it's called the Man Cave too. That is perfect. Almost kind of envious. I gotta admit. Well, hey, dude. Welcome. Of course, officially. We're gonna bring in our other gentleman here as well. How's it going, Ironcaster?
Hello. Oh, guys, sorry,
How
I was
you
late.
doing, sir?
I had to take care of a couple things here. Get the last little bit of reading in.
Ooh. You better fill in the gaps on what you've been reading, because I'm curious to hear what's been going on. But Caster, what's new in your world? I feel like I haven't spoken to you in like 1 or 2 whole days, and for us, that's considered a long time.
I know, dude. It's crazy. Like, life has been a little hectic right now, but just getting over to the bookstore. I've got a big old stack of stuff, and I'll save us a little time, and I'll show you off one thing I did just pick up.
Ooh. Oh.
Nice.
Oh, I'm zooming on you, Caster. I'm zooming in. Oh, dude. That is nice. Yeah, one of my buddies at my shop that I go to, he got his copy in, and I'm like, hey, okay, you gotta hook a brother up with one of those copies. You can't just let me look at that. Feel teased a little bit by that. What gives?
No, I'm just getting all the other reading caught up. I decided on a whim. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go buy like 5 or 6 like 300, 400, 500 page novels. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go read all these, and like then I'm looking over the stack of unread comics. I'm like, yeah, I'll get to those today, maybe.
Oh, no. All right, hold on. I gotta acknowledge this. Piochet's Helicopter Tours has been a member for 8 months. Will Ferrell as Larry the Architect is canon, in my honest opinion. The clip, I think, was SNL Super Bowl skit. It's hilarious. Ergo vis-a-vis Concordia. I can tell you that was the MTV, I think it was Video Awards, or is the movie awards, whatever. When MTV, before they became about high school gossip, that was when they did that, because that was when they were talking about, hey, Morpheus, what can we do at this orgy? He's like, machines, and like, oh, that's really weird and awkward. When stuff like that was actually considered weird and awkward. Yeah, that was that whole skit. That was 21 years ago, brother. I remember that because everyone in my middle school at the time impersonated that skit up and down, left and right. So that's how I remember that. Around it to grudge for the dude. I can't wait to. So speaking of that Conan book, have you read any of it yet, Caster?
Not yet. I wanted to wait until I got caught up with all the other Conan stuff, which includes like both the two unread Savage Sword of Conan's that I again still just kept buried in my pile. Like I gotta get through this all so I can get to the new stuff.
Okay. So I'll show off one.
I did at least.
I
did at least finish. I did at least finish up number 12. So I'm all caught up with the comic.
We'll talk about that for later on near the end of the show because I have a lot of thoughts, a lot of good ones, but it was like the fact that we actually had an explosive ending that was absolutely diabolical about Conan.
In fact, like that partially, it was kind of partially inspired me to pick up a few of the other books, and I'll bring those up just for reference to when we get there.
Awesome. So okay, I'm gonna show this all real quick. I'll turn my camera because I can't just not. Dude, the Savage Sword. Conan. Dude, so this issue, Justin, just so you know, in this particular issue, this has Kerry Nord on pencils on the main story. I'm sure you've at least heard of that name. And dude's
I know him.
Straight up legend. Oh, he's got it too, yeah. Frank Thierry did writing on the main story. I haven't read anything else yet, but one of the best pinups I've ever seen, and I'm gonna get to it because, dude, this pinup is so freaking brutal. It is like the most heavy metal thing ever. Right here, I'm gonna zoom in on this one because everyone needs to get a load of this sucker.
Those black and whites, though.
Oh,
dude,
that's the good stuff.
Dude, look at the beheading and all too.
Look at that bunny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right there. You can tell Kerry Nord is very distinct. You can't mistake his style from miles away. It's funny because I've seen him. His style's been pretty imitative, but man, I'll talk about a guy you absolutely cannot really duplicate. Oh, look, lizard people. And Robert E. Howard, I was talking to Andre from Midnight's Edge. We're like, dude, to our knowledge, Robert E. Howard's the first guy that we know of that actually ever referenced lizard people. Was he trying to tell us something? But dude, seriously, that said though, they look pretty.
Damn it! I was trying to say the Snake Man first, then the lizard people. Yeah.
Seriously, I'm like, bro, this is freaking nuts. But yeah, I've read the main story. It's like a werewolf type of story. And it is really damn good. And of course, Kerry Nord's art. There's one line in here. There's one piece of dialogue in here that is absolutely like really powerful. It's one of those really short spoken lines. And you're like, bro, that's the quote of the story. It's one of those like, you'll remember if you're going to have a quote that stands out, it's that one quote the story will be remembered. I think you'll know when you get to a caster. It's just one of those things. Like you're like, bro, that's it. And speaking of barbarians, hey, our boy is here himself by Crom. How you doing, Conan? What brings you here? Do you slice up and dice up some werewolves recently? You gotta tell us, man. What's your recent goals? Like, I don't know how you show up here as frequently as you do, and then go out there and be savage. I don't get it, but I love that you do. What's up, Phantom Outsider and Read by Nature, Matthew Pounder? Welcome, gentlemen. Yes, that is Nord on the interiors on the main story. Straight up, he did the whole. It's like 45 pages of the main story. But seriously, I don't want to give away any more of it. I want to give you all a chance to get a hold of it and read it for yourselves. So maybe we'll talk a little bit about it next week. But I want to say, Caster, did you read Transformers?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, dude. Beachcomber.
Yeah.
Beachcomber.
So I guess real quick to kind of get people in. One of the big point of view characters from this latest issue of the Transformers comic was, of all Autobots, Beachcomber, which is just this little kind of hippie character that just he's a total pacifist, does not want to fight. And we were kind of talking a little bit behind the scenes, and you were saying how he was going on to be one of your favorite characters there.
Oh yes, I was immediately hooked. I was just like, this is my guy. This is my guy. This is I just knew right then and there that was one of those things. I'm like, okay, I have to be. This is the one. I am. Oh yeah, I was. Oh, I need a toy. I need all that good jazz. Yeah, it was the one for me. Straight up, simply put, it was the one.
Wait, there is a weed smoking transformer.
In personality, but I really wouldn't be surprised to see that there's not some other ones there.
He's trying
I need
to
a
say
toy
that
now.
If
I
a
need it.
Transformer could have like a Keanu Reeves Point Break style, like whoa man, like that would be Beachcomber.
I will make it a Rastafari hat and everything. Just get me the toy and I will be golden.
That sounds like you're talking about Sanka from Cool Runnings now. At this rate,
Oh,
you're going.
there's a tradition. I don't know if it's from Peru or from Ecuador. There's this kind of doll that people put cigarettes on his mouth and light them, and the doll will smoke them, right? And if your house is burning down, you first save the doll before saving the people, and it's supposed to help. Yeah, magically to save people. So it's a really weird thing. But yeah, they actually light cigarettes on that thing, and it smoked them. Yeah, it's a toy that smokes.
A toy that smokes it. Well, you got a brother right below you, Pablo, that knows a thing or two about the smoking of the things. So maybe that might be up his alley. Just saying.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it was there was some interesting stuff in the comic though. The fact that we've had the sort of mythical figure of Shockwave that's been talked about for the last like year with these comics, with the Energon universe, that he's been kind of held up as sort of this terrifying figure among the Decepticons. What did you think, Nick, or if anyone else who's seen the book or seen him in now that he's in the book proper as being
Shockwave?
Yes.
Well, this is my introduction to him, as I was a super normie with the Transformers as of 11 months ago. For me, I was just like, okay, I like where we're going with the Shockwave guy. I like how we're going along with these characters, this Beachcomber. I like the way we're bringing these characters. It feels very natural. We're not just trying to rush in and bring in all these characters just to say, hey, look at all these cool characters that we got. Actually feels right. Just feels right in line. It doesn't feel like anything is being tacked on. It doesn't feel like we're trying to blow our wad. It just really feels like a natural fit for the story. Like, unlike, once again, as I like to say around here, unlike OJ Simpson, it's the actual hand in glove fit.
They're doing a really great job with the book of just kind of expanding upon the characters more. You get to see those little underlying elements of Thundercracker, who's always kind of wary of the cause, where he seems to be constantly kind of teetering on that edge of having his doubts about the Decepticon cause, which has stayed consistent throughout the book in any time he's there. And I wouldn't be surprised to find out down the road that that he might even swap sides.
You think so?
I think it's possible. Because
you got confidence in that. Okay.
Well,
okay.
So you are saying he's gonna transition?
So in the previous run over in IDW, Thundercracker had basically become something of a rogue agent who was sort of went off and kind of basically built himself a shack in the middle of the woods, where he just basically did nothing but kind of soaked up TV and like adopted a dog. And he at one point even, I think, winds up like teaming up with the G.I. Joes.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
So he is this character who fairly consistently with a lot of his iterations isn't so attached to the cause. Thundercracker could very well easily wind up stepping away, or I don't know. Since we have the Joes involved, I could even see there being some connection there.
I like the name of Thundercracker. I'm like, that is a ridiculous name. If someone came up with that name today, so I'm like, that's so unrealistic. But I'm like, bro, just go with it. It's clear that now that like I've watched a few episodes with Vince Womack, I could tell a lot of this comic is really based off the G1 cartoon. I could tell that definitely seems to be Mr. Dan Johnson's place of main source of influence. And from what you showed me at that Beachcomber video, it seems like that's definitely where he picked up the Beachcomber element. Like, it's amazing how much you get a new perspective when you get all that added information, if you will.
Well, plus, if anything, you need to now go track down and watch the Beachcomber episode.
Oh, I plan. I trust me. That's gonna be priority.
Because that's kind of one of the fun things there is that you have a lot of characters that would get their own little standalone episodes. So you can just kind of watch them out. You can basically watch them out of order. Vince is right. Vince has the episode title in the chat, The Golden Lagoon.
Yes.
I would also say consider looking into like the Combaticons. They have an episode because every episode has to kind of highlight a new toy. That's the name. That was the name of the game. I will also say consider looking into Astro Train a little bit because he's become a standout figure in the book or in the comic, and he had his own couple of episodes where he got to really stand out.
You look like it sounded like you lost your train of thought for a second. Were you finished? It seemed like you were near the end, and it's all of a sudden like.
No, you're at the climax.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I know it's like I've been there.
So it seems like we're getting ready to get that big build up where the next issue is going to be some sort of attack, either the Autobots attacking the Decepticons attacking the Autobots. So that's going to be the big build up for the next 2 issues to end out the next chapter of this. And the other thing that really stands out to me that I enjoyed in it was getting to see that Shockwave moment where they're underwater and they have just the big old wall of water at bay, and as Shockwave's like berating Soundwave for wanting to repair Ravage, which come on, we got to fix the kitty. Ravage is a beloved character.
Dude, I was just like, bro, you gotta get Ravage fixed back up, man. If you're gonna go back out there and do some work, you gotta fix your boy Ravage.
But that panel where they look out at the water and it's just a sea of whales.
Oh, dude, no. Jorge Corona definitely did some good stuff there. Our gentleman here. Ooh, that is nice. Oh, that is very nice. Regeneration.
Nice.
Oh. Now, is that something you drew, dude?
No, this is Jay Lee sketch that I got at the Denver Fan Expo over the 4th of July weekend.
You know what? Now that you mention it, I can definitely see it now. Now that you mention it. Okay, now I definitely see it. Oh, that is nice, dude. Fuck, that's killer. Oh, yeah, you were at the... Oh, nice. Yeah, you're at the Fan Expo. Dude, that's cool. Did you have fun there?
Oh, yeah. I go every year since about 2012.
Oh, it's not a tradition for you.
And you were talking about Kerry Nord?
Yes, sir. Oh.
He did the Daredevil piece in the center of my jam.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that is nice.
I got David Mack Bullseye.
Yeah, I could tell that I actually really appreciated David Mack's stuff in the early 2000s when he was doing Daredevil. I really like his stuff. Klaus Janson too, nice. Yeah, you can't mistake Klaus Janson. His style is like extra distinct. Of course, there's Typhoid Mary as well, killer. Oh,
Bob
is that
Hall
Kevin Nolan up above as Kingpin?
No, that's Graham Nolan.
Oh, Grant. Oh, yeah, that is Grand Dog. Oh, okay. I like how this is like a collage of different pencilers.
And that's a Transformers artist right there, Livio. Did the first one.
Okay. I actually don't know who that one. I actually don't recognize that piece, but that's nice.
His name's Gladiator. He's a foe of.
Oh yeah, I know who the
Daredevil.
character is. I just don't know who drew it. I actually
Oh,
don't.
Livio Ramadelli, I think he pronounced his name.
Oh, okay.
And that's
Ah.
Jay Lee right there in the center, top.
Electra.
He has very distinct eyes. I know what Jay Lee. The way his eyes are, they're very. You can't mistake his eyes on his characters. Oh,
And then Michael Golden, the owl.
Oh, I love the owl. Leland Owlsley. Oh, many
Really,
years
really
of my
good.
life with the Man Without Fear when Daredevil was. Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah. Daredevil consumed my life for many years. So okay, let's see. I see a few different faces. I want to acknowledge them. What's up, Dash Attack? How you doing, sir? And welcome to the Chantal Phantasmagorical. How you doing? Thanks for being here. Enjoy the show. All right, I'm gonna get my cup filled back up, and then we're gonna finally get into our VH1 Behind the Music special with Mr. Belmont. So give about 1 minute. Go ahead, chat amongst yourselves.
Yeah, so Transformers, of course, the big book this week, and there was a few other ones I'd highlighted last week, but I just haven't really had a chance to catch up on much, unfortunately. What's all been going on?
I have been catching up with some things. I actually got into something that I am enjoying too much, I will say. Farming
Was
life.
another magic deck.
Nope. No, but I'm actually trying to save the money to get the cards that I'm missing for completing my deck, and it's shaping up really, really nice. I will say it's one of those decks that people will get really mad. But no, I was watching my farming life in another world. Is an anime that is about a guy that dies, goes to another world as an isekai, and he just becomes a farmer. And is wholesome, is quiet, is actually a really, really chill anime that I'm enjoying so much.
All right, dudes.
It's such a fascinating thing that we've seen people going to basically all these corners of the world to like get all this entertainment, because like the Korean dramas are really popping off right now. You've of course got anime, manga. People are able to make video games at any corner of the planet and sell those. It's in some ways become better and worse. So it's just kind of fascinating how times have changed the way people consume media.
Yeah.
You got that right. That is for certain. But you know what? I think it's good because we have all these extra outlets and lets us know that we have things we can enjoy, and we are really actually going beyond the surface. And as someone who, once again, really well versed in where I come from music, looking for stuff is kind of like second nature for me. So it took some of my comic buddies, let's just say more locally, to try to get them to learn how to seek out stuff rather than just embrace what was put in front of them. But now it seems like not only they are more accepting of going out there and seeking it out, they're realizing how rewarding it is. And of course, I'm coming across people now from the internet, literally worldwide, and it's a wonderful feeling. And it shows you how much truly great stuff there is out there. And when you put that into retrospect perspective, you're thinking, wow, there actually is quite a bit of this great stuff out there for a long time. We're just taking the time to look at it now, because across all mediums, it's always been that way. It's wonderful. Yeah. I love it. And I'm glad we can be in a world where it feels like we're now having harder competition, but I feel like ultimately the viewers win when it plays out this way. This is how it should be. It should be always about having the best stuff that we could get. People are like, oh no, this is the best thing going on. I want that, and that's where we should be at. So anyways, we're going to do a cheers to our audience for being here. Thank you guys for being here. 35 minutes of show. This one's out to all of you for being here. Appreciate all of your support. Cheers and beers.
Salud.
Cheers.
Okay. Now, Mr. Justin Belmont. I almost felt like I was going to be like Agent Smith, like Mr. Anderson.
Welcome back. We missed you.
Welcome. So, sir, why don't you tell us about where you started in comics? Was it from a show? Was it from an actual comic? Like, tell us about you where your life started with comics. I want to. You don't just. You could go all if it needs to be 1 minute, 5 minutes. I'm here to listen, and I am very curious on your story, sir.
I was a little leaguer, and I used to collect baseball cards. And the only place to buy them, I lived in upstate New York. The only place to buy them was this place called Ravenswood, and it was a comic book shop, but they also sold the baseball cards. So at first, I just went in there to buy the baseball cards. You know, I would notice the comic books, but I didn't really buy them yet. So after, I don't know, a little bit of time, I actually just kept staring at those books and then eventually became a customer.
Oh,
but
okay.
The first comic book I ever bought actually wasn't in that shop, though. It was at the mall. And it was, you know, a big deal back in the days. Everybody would just go to the mall all weekend. And I remember I was walking, and there was this little antique shop, but they also sold comic books there. And they had a New Mutants 87 taped to the window. And for some reason, I had to go buy that book. So that was the first comic book I ever bought. I think it was $6, and that was actually pretty expensive back then.
Imagine that. $6 is that's considered like you're going broke. Wow.
Yeah, that was a lot of money.
I will say the only bad thing is that if it was on the window, there's a lot of damage for UV light, so the ink will fade really, really fast.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's true, but still, I mean, at the end of the day, you're here for the story, and that's ultimately what matters. But anyways, so you spotted New Mutants 87 or 86, you said?
87, the one with the bubbles and Cable, the classic.
There we go.
Yeah, it was that one.
God, Cable was huge.
So it was a back issue. I don't know how long it was out when I bought it, maybe a few months or something. But I just had to have that. And that was the first purchase I ever made.
And I mean, considering the popularity of Cable, like it's easy to understand why you know so many people wound up kind of getting into comics at that point. So it's like it's a perfect comic to really start with in many ways.
Yeah, I like the style, and it kind of stuck out. And a lot of people give Rob Liefeld hate. I don't feel that way about him. You know what I mean? I thought his style was unique. You could tell a Rob Liefeld drawing from a million miles away, even though he can't draw feet or whatever. Everybody gives him shit, or his pouches. But he has a really unique style, I think.
He does have his own distinct style, and I'll admit myself, I'm a little 50-50 on him, but I will always give him credit on a few things. One, he has his own style. Two, he knows the medium. I have seen him speak. I have listened to him speak, whether it's on our shows or his own shows. And the man knows his comics. He knows his Jack Kirby. Like, Rob Liefeld is very entrenched in comic book knowledge. That guy, he like I would say, like, I've met some people. We have a buddy who used to be on here who is unfortunately no longer living amongst us. Like, even he was just like, oh, Rob knows his comics. And our buddy, old friend Clobby, he was a comic book guru himself. But yeah, Liefeld is a straight up guru. And here's the thing: Mark Miller pointed out on his show on Miller Time that he did with Rob Liefeld. He said that he'll always like run a few tests when he's around like his family for family parties, and he'll put down a bunch of covers in front of kids to see which cover makes them kind of react. And he says 9 times out of 10, it's usually the Liefeld covers that do. There's something that's just accessible that it's very impressionable. Liefeld has a very impressionable style. And the one thing I do appreciate about his styles, and I think this is something that's like, especially in mainstream, that's become a lost art, is how fun everything was shamelessly exaggerated. And I feel like the overreaction to the success of like the Dark Knights of the world, like for all the good it did, the bad it did as well, was when everything did become so rude, and in reality we forgot the escapism and how ridiculous and fun over the top things could be if we just kind of rolled with the punches.
You know, one of the things I do like with Rob Liefeld is that he's able to laugh at himself. I think as a really good example of this, like we joke about his pouches, and he literally made a character called the Pouch.
That is hilarious.
I have a Rob Liefeld story. I actually met him one time.
Ooh, go on.
It was in Las Vegas. I think it was called the Great American Comic Con or something like that. And he was there, but his line was long, huge, over 3 hours probably.
I believe it.
And I remember like there's a lot of other people there. I think George Perez was there, and I was thinking, am I going to wait all day in this line to meet Rob Liefeld? Or what? Because I only had a limited amount of time. I wasn't going to be there on Sunday, and he was only going to be there on Saturday and Sunday. So I only had that one day. So I had to choose between waiting all day in line and just meeting Rob Liefeld and pretty much not meeting anybody else at the show. Or, so I decided to not wait in that line. And then after he was done signing, he was, packing up, and he had all his stuff, and he was, getting everything together. And I walked up to him, and he's like, "What can I do for you, buddy?" And I was like, "Yeah, well, I was hoping to get an autograph." And he's like, "Well, I'm going to be doing a signing tomorrow." I was like, "Well, I'm not going to be here tomorrow." And he's like, "Well, what do you got?" So I have one of those, those store folios. That can hold like 20 comics or whatever. I had that filled with Rob Liefeld comics. And he went through them. He's like, "I charged for this one. I charged for this one." He saw the New Mutants one. I guess he charges extra or something for those, a premium because of first appearance or whatever of Cable. So he saw Deathmate Red. And he goes, "Take that one out of the plastic." So I took it out, and then he just signed it, and he goes, "There you go, buddy." And then he gave me a fist pump. And that was it. So.
That's incredible, dude. Yeah, that's something I've heard commonly about him, like at conventions or even out. Like apparently, when he does 2-3 hour like signings and like meets, apparently he's on 11 from beginning to end. Like apparently his energy is like spewing, and there's something about a lot of those comic guys like him, the Jim Strankos of the world. Guys who are getting up there in age, but they're still energetic. They're probably like rock stars. They're comic book versions of rock stars, and yet they're still like, I see those guys like, I need to be that energetic when I'm their age. They definitely got to give me goals to aspire to on a personality front. That they've been through it, and they still love meeting the fans. They still love talking to fans, and on top of it, the most important thing, they truly were involved in this medium because they actually love it. They weren't in it just to be like, "Oh, hey, we want to get the Netflix deal." They really love this medium. Anyone can have their say on Liefeld, but they cannot deny his love for comic book medium. It's straight up irrefutable.
I remember one year he was even doing free drawings and hiding them around San Diego, around the convention center or whatever during Comic-Con, and just giving away free art and doing fun stuff like that. He's like a kid at heart, I think.
Oh, it's because he totally is. Have you seen his room for his office? Dude, it's loaded with toys and statues galore. Like, he's still like, it's funny. Like, once again, he's a guy who's, he's got 2 or 3 kids that are very well off. He's married. And yet he's still that kid at heart, even with all the domestic life status to his name. He still is that guy who's still, like, I guess you could say on a mental capacity, hasn't grown up in the sense that he's still all about what he grew up with. Like, he has not changed. And that's a rare thing nowadays, the idea of sticking to your guns and being about what you are. I feel like it means something more now in the last 5 years, because we have seen the most flimsiest of the flimsy in all walks of life nowadays. And it's been a good indication of learning who people really are. And Liefeld is still Rob Liefeld. He never sold out. He's still here. He stuck to his guns. And yeah, undeniable status. So, anyways, all greatness about Rob Liefeld aside. So, okay, you got into this New Mutants comic. Rob Liefeld's art stuck out to you. Like, where did it go from there? Like, did you like start getting onto every other book? Was it just a few books? What were where is the transition between when you were being hooked on comics to, I guess, getting involved into workout? Like, just go all in. I want all the details.
I started collecting comics. I got into Marvel and Valiant. The early Valiant stuff was my favorite. I also got like Dark Horse titles like Madman and Concrete, stuff like that. I collected Bone, a lot of indie stuff. I think the indie scene was pretty big back then, like it is now, but I don't know. It might be even bigger now than it was before. And that's kind of how I came up with my character. I saw that all these artists had their own IPs and their own characters, Spawn and everyone. I just wanted my own, so that's kind of how I created Smokes one day. But it was also around. So it was around the same time I also discovered marijuana.
It all makes sense now.
I get you, brother. I get you.
Yeah, and girls, you know, it's all around the same time, 15, 14, 15, 16 in that time period. And I just one day I was just drawing with my friend, and we were high, and I just drew a fox head, and I threw a pipe in his mouth. And I kind of got inspired by Cerebus. I was a big fan of that book. I know Dave Sims got you know, a lot of bad stuff attached to his name now, but he did put out a good comic, which actually was the longest running indie comic for the longest time. Then Spawn kind of like took over. But how many issues of Spawn did McFarlane draw? You know what I mean?
Good point. Really good point.
A handful.
Yeah,
but,
not many. Because then he had Capullo on for a long while, and he went through quite a few pencilers, and still to this day, he'll have a guy who will go through an era, maybe barely an era, and then he moves on to another guy. Yeah.
So Cerebus had the longest running indie comic where he consistently drew the book, and then later, about halfway through, I think he enlisted Gerhard, and I love Gerhard stuff, especially his backgrounds. And man, I even hired him to draw my wedding invitation. So he drew the church. It's a historic church from the 1800s. So he knocked it out of the park and drew that for my wedding invitation cover. And then I later on worked with him again on Smokes. I gave him my original drawings and told him, you know, how I was inspired by Cerebus. That's why my character has the Una eye. Okay. As a, and then I worked with Gerhard on the redesign of my original sketches, and then later on, you know, put out my book. So it's a long time coming. I've been trying to put this book out since I was about 15 or 16, and every so often it would just like in the back of my head, I'd be like, you got to do something with that character, like he was his own person. They had to come out, and then I saw that you can actually put out your comic book now because there's platforms like Indiegogo and Fund My Comic and Kickstarter where you can, you know, get funded and get the money you need to get your comic book printed and actually, you know, put out your own stuff and not have to, you know, beg a big publisher to carry your comic. You can just do whatever you want. And that's what I wanted to do.
With this comic, you say you've had this idea. If I heard you correctly, you say you've had this idea in your head since you're 16. Were you ever pitching it to publishers?
No.
Or no? So not once. And okay, so not once. Okay, so that answers that nice and quickly. So when you saw this was like crowdfunding is becoming a thing, was it like an instant thing? Like this is the way I do this, or like were you skeptical on crowdfunding? Like where's the crowdfunding angle come into all this?
I just knew it was the right time, and with the crowdfunding, it'd make it possible to pay for at least the printing. And so I knew that I would do decent enough to probably at least cover the printing.
Okay. So it's called. You got two comics here: Smokes the Fox 1 and Weaponized Werewolf 0. This is a second chance, might I add you, and you've done very well with your second chance, might I add. Like, good for you, man. So okay. How'd you go about getting Mike Barron to write your character?
Mike Barron lives in Colorado.
Makes sense.
So I see him once a year at the Rocky Mountain Comic-Con. It's in November. Okay. And usually they have like a one good guest. Like they'll have Michael Golan one year. They had Larry Hama, stuff like that. They'll have one good Bob Hall. Shelby Robinson has been there a few times.
Well, they get good guests there. They get really good guests there. To sum it up. Wow.
Yeah, like a traditional Comic-Con. No, you know, Hollywood celebrities or anything. Real small venue in this hotel room in Denver.
What?
Really relaxed. Yeah, it's really nice. It's a 2-day show. It's $10 to get in each day. It's really cool show. Mike Barron goes there every year, so I see him, and I usually picking up, one of his books or whatever, one of his graphic novels. And then one year I decided, I'm gonna put out my book, and I'm gonna ask Mike to write my comic. So I was a big fan of Valiant, so I actually kind of knew Mike from the Valiant stuff before the Punisher. So I got collecting comics a little later on.
Okay, okay.
But
Wow. So you asked it just like that, and like that is incredible. I'm sorry, I'm very impressed with that. Awesome. So okay, so you got Smokes of Fox number one. By the way, chat, I posted the link here. It's at Fund My Comic. Shout out to Fund My Comic. And it looks like he has a few comics here because he has Smokes of Fox 1 and Weaponized Werewolf 0. And so it looks like Mike wrote this story. What is your role? Because I see you're at the bottom here. Are you the editor of your character? What is your role in this story?
I could have put my name first, I guess, but I decided to put my name last.
So
I am the creator of the character. I did the original sketches. I worked on the redesign with Gerhard. I told Mike how I wanted the story to go. What I wanted to take place in the book. So I basically directed it, I guess you can say. And then Mike also added to it a little bit. He's the one that came up with the weaponized werewolf character. And but his name is Cheney. He put his name as Cheney in the book.
Okay.
Like Vaughn Cheney, the original Wolfman.
It almost sounds like this was almost like a co-writer effort. I mean, judging by my interpretation, obviously you're the creator, but it also feels like because you created the idea, you had ideas of where you wanted Mike to go with this, and he added to it. Is that what this is? Is that you technically both wrote this book? Because that's what I'm getting on this, is that once again you had your vision and he just added to it and went with what you also had as well.
Yeah, I didn't feel comfortable writing the script because if I'm going to spend all this money investing in artwork on this project, I didn't want to, bomb the script and then just waste my money, and no one liked the comic book. I wanted people to come back for more. Okay. So I wanted a good writer. So I started at the top, shoot from the stars, you know what I mean? And I pitched it to him and he's like, I'm in. And I didn't know it was going to be that easy, you know what I mean? But he told me that he was born to write this book.
Whoa! Wow!
Mike likes to smoke. He actually worked for the government smoking marijuana, believe it or not. And he had he had to tell them like the effects on his body and stuff like that. So
I love that cover.
Dude.
Oh, yeah. That's your hard cover.
Wow.
God damn it. We are having a nice talk about weed. And I was silent because I was trying to repair my vaporizer on the back.
So I see over there on the side the mini hero, the dice. Like I have to wonder, is there any particular idea you're going for there? Is this looks like going for a like a tabletop role playing game sort of idea?
No, it's more like those muscle men back in the 80s.
Yes.
So those were 2 inches. So is the figures. I wasn't able to make them a real Keshi like those muscle men were. They were all rubber.
Yep.
So I had them 3D printed. And the cool part about the resin is you can get translucent colors. So it comes in red and green. And then I just had the standard gray where someone out there can actually paint them if they wanted to or whatever. They can prime it and paint it. But he has removable weapons. It's a little add-on that I added to the campaign later on. Originally, I wasn't going to do it, but then, that's a tribute to Bob Layton. Right
there. Okay, here is something that if you are getting a figure with removable weapons or any projectile, get a lunchbox or something like that and store them there. Even in a couple of years, even if you don't remember which is which, you can still have the projectiles and the weapons, and you can still post the figures. If you lose them, especially in some indie production that is really limited, you're gonna miss them forever. And I know what I'm saying. When you lose the removable weapons of a collection figure,
Mhm.
that's hard.
Hot dog. So is this looks like, judging by the way the format looks of it, it looks like it's a periodical book. Is it?
Right now, I am working on issue 2. This first issue was a 23-page story.
Okay.
Issue 2 is
Awesome.
going to be a 24-page story, and it
Okay.
continues where it left off. Basically, Smokes is a hybrid created by the government with the help of gray aliens, and he is so intelligent he's able to escape this facility, and then they send the maniac weaponized werewolf after him to either eliminate him or to bring him back, take him in. So that's kind of how the story begins. And then when he gets out there in the wild, he discovers marijuana.
You know what? Now that you mentioned all this, it makes more sense that you got Mike involved, because the man wrote Florida Man, and Florida Man is a very wild story. I have both volumes, and the first Florida Man was actually my gateway into, I guess you could say, this indie sphere of YouTube. He was the first book I ever saw. I'm like, oh, that Mike Bear guy's doing stuff somewhere else. Oh, he's doing a book called Florida Man. It was at a time in my life where I was looking at Florida Man articles every day. So it was like, whoa, astronomy is absolutely on my side right now. I have to back this. And of course, the rest was-
He actually was busting my balls in that book. If you got the first Florida Man graphic novel, Gary works for Belmont Pest Control.
dude, what?
Yeah, that was. He just busted my balls. Maybe I called him too much or something. I was a pet.
Oh, so the Demon in a Bottle cover is absolutely great. Now, I see there's some names on here. Bob Layton after. No, is it modeled after all these guys, or did? Because I was gonna say Palmiotti. Did you actually get Jimmy Palmiotti on this book?
No, that's Peter Palmiotti, his brother.
Oh, Peter Palm. Okay, I gotta admit, I concede I do not know who Peter Palmiotti is.
He worked for Valiant.
Okay.
Briefly, he was there in the bullpen. So he's been inking for a while, and he's not the inker of the interiors. The interiors were both inked by Rodney Ramos. If you're familiar with him. Lee Oakes is the penciler of Smokes the Fox. So that was drawn by Lee Oakes, and Peter inked it. And Alonzo is my colorist, who now works for Marvel. So I hope I can pick him up for issue 2, but I don't know yet.
Oh, he went up to up there. Wow.
Yeah, he's a really good colorist, as you can see. And I was kind of busting Bob Layton's balls. I've known Bob for a few years, just going to conventions and commissioning him. And then I told him I was getting married in 2015, and I was like, I'm putting out my own comic. Would you want to do something for it? And he's like, you know what? Something small. So I decided to have him ink the cover. So Smokes 1 was inked by Bob Layton. And I actually got Don Perlin, if you're familiar with him, to actually draw the cover.
I know I definitely know who these guys both are. I definitely am aware of both these guys. Yeah, Peter Palmiotti I'm not familiar with, but I am familiar with both Layton and Perlin.
Yep. So I got Don Perlin to come out of retirement to draw my cover. And since then, he's done one other cover for Chuck Dixon, which was Airboy cover.
Okay.
And then he just passed away recently, which is kind of sad. And I was just gonna send him something in the mail too. And I talked to him on Facebook. He's a real nice guy. And then he just passed away.
Oh man. Oh, that is sucky. All right, homie. Well, I'll tell you what. I know it's easy to say because I am on the panel and hosting you. So it's easier for me to, but I did just contributed. I got my I led by example. You got me. So That's not how you do it. So I just scored a copy. So I look forward to having this sucker shipped out to me because Vulcan and I we keep up in contact a lot. He's on my Gilded server and we're always chatting about books. And if he's telling me like, dude, I'm gonna love this, I believe him. I absolutely take that man at his word. So I went for the stars. So I ordered a copy.
It. Thank you.
It is all good, brother. I'm looking forward. Of course, I set up Mr. Luke Stone with a tip. So Luke Stone, if you're out there, dude, hooked it up, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I put a lot of love and time in this comic. It took me over 3 years to put it together, but a lot of that time was waiting for the right artist to be available. That's Tim Vigil that did that werewolf cover.
Okay. So, and then obviously, clearly, this is another story, weaponized werewolf. Now, are you meant to connect these characters, or are these just two things that are their own things between weaponized werewolf and Smokes the Fox? What's the deal with the two?
Smoke's production was going kind of slow, so I decided to make another book with a different artist.
Okay.
Weaponized Werewolf, and it's actually a prequel to Smokes.
Oh, dude.
It takes place about 15 years prior.
So is the after and before marijuana?
Yep, before Smokes was a glimmer in the Gray's eyes.
Weed, not even once.
Oh man. Wow. You happen to like have this idea, and obviously you happen to also get some really notable personalities involved with this. This had to have tripped you all out. Like you're thinking like in your wildest dreams, you didn't probably think 20 years ago this would have all aligned the way that it did. And it's with guys, obviously a few of them who you admire and respect as well. That's like one of those like dream come true type of stories.
Yeah, I want to do this for a long time, and I decided just to ask, big hitters, all my favorites. Just asked. I mean, knocked on a lot of doors. A lot of people didn't want to draw a pot-smoking fox, but there were plenty of artists that did. So I really lucked out. It hurt my wallet, my bank account, but when I'm gone, these comic books are still going to be there, and I'm proud of them. I'm working on issue 2. It's ready when it's ready. When I think when it's done and nice and polished, that's when I'll release it.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of passion, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm not just going to rush it out or whatever. So, yeah, Vulcan loves Smokes. I think he's my biggest fan. He's backed multiple times. Nice. He's the one that actually told me about your channel.
Yes, he told me like, hey, you need to talk to this guy, and if he tells me that, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna make sure we chat. And no, I'm glad he did. Vulcan, to answer your question, I backed the main cover. I'm a pretty simple guy. I just want to get this book. I want to read it. I want to live in it. It looks like I get some sweet stickers with it too. It looks like you get from the same companies that our friend, we have a mutual friend in Hojo. Obviously his book, The Mythicals, which I really enjoyed issue 2 of, by the way. It looks like you guys get the same company for the stickers, which is great because I have a cool mini fridge in my room, and that's where I put all my cool comic book stickers. So I can't wait to add these stickers to my fridge now. I'm equally excited about the stickers as I am for the book. So you will now become a part of my life by being on my fridge every day when I go for either a drink or an energy drink. You're always there now with me in spirit now. Congratulations.
Yeah, appreciate it. 6 a.m. Does the stickers for a lot of campaigns for a lot of indie creators. I think he did Hojo's. I had him do a couple more that I haven't released yet, so I'm gonna put those on my campaign for my next book.
Okay.
This is Barry McLean artwork for Weaponized Werewolf.
I like it. Looks killer.
The dude is my neighbor. There's another story.
Oh, really?
Holy crap.
So I knew he was like local, whatever, lived in Colorado. But one day I decided to hire him because he worked with Mike Barron before.
Yeah.
And I wanted him to do some sketch cards for my first campaign on Indiegogo. And he said that he needed me to mail some blanks to him. So I got his address and I looked at it and I was like, holy shit, you're my neighbor. So I didn't know that. So out of all the places, there's like 2 million people in Denver and the surrounding areas. It's not a small town. It's not like New York City, but
Yeah, but
the
still,
chances of him being like 50 paces or something away, that's kind of strange. You know what I mean?
So-
yeah, this is
so-
not something you just hear about all the time. And usually, if you do, it's as you mentioned, places like New York City, or even some regards like California. For all the crap we give California, California has had scenes of musicians, comic book artists, yada yada. So now it's like, wow, there's this hot spot in Colorado, obviously like a more underground, but it's undeniably there.
So
Yeah,
he can basically pay him in like trimming his hedges.
No, he wants cash or PayPal. So
Go ahead.
it takes place in this underground facility. I don't know if you guys are into conspiracy theories.
Oh, dude, I'm on a politics channel once a week outside of my channel with Buddy. So you're preaching to the choir. Go on.
If you're familiar with Area 51, and then there's also Dulce Base. If you're familiar with that one.
Okay. I
It's
don't
supposed to
know
be-
about Dulce Base.
No.
I gotta admit that I don't. But you have colored.
You know Phil Schneider, right?
Yes.
The story. He supposedly was working under Dulce Base and encountered some Greys, and they supposedly shot some laser beams at him or something, and then hit him in the hand and I think in the foot or in the toes or something like that. But he claims that he just barely got out of there. So I take a little bit of that lore that there's supposedly this underground military base, kind of like an Area 52 that's underground, and supposedly there's this level called Nightmare Hall where they do experiments on humans. There's Greys working with humans doing these experiments, genetic experiments and stuff like that, and just some crazy stuff. Some whistleblowers have come out and talked about it. So I kind of took that lore. So it takes place on the Colorado-New Mexico border, and they are abducting humans against their will.
Wow. Nowadays, if you had told me that, let's just say, 15, maybe even 10 years ago, I'd be like, I don't know if I could roll that, but for a story, it's cool. But nowadays, it sounds so much closer to reality that nowadays, yeah, the reality is getting stranger than fiction. That whole saying about the truth is stranger than fiction, that is carrying more weight than ever. Like, that was supposed to just be like a fun figurative statement, but now, like, the problem is the stuff with the Babylon Bee is now it's like they're funny, but it's like that movie Idiocracy. You're supposed to be funny. You're not supposed to be accurate. That's why I'm really conflicted when I see stuff in Babylon Bee. I'm like, oh, that's funny, but please don't become real, because that's what I'm worried that they have to like up their game, just like because of how crazy everything is. But anyways, all right. So Smokes of the Fox, we got Weaponized Werewolf. What is the goal as far as where you want to go with these stories? Are these meant to be like 5-6 issue miniseries? Are you going to go with this as long as possible? Do you have an end goal? What are you hoping to accomplish long term with these stories each?
I was gonna do like a short mini series, kind of like Hellboy does, like 6 issues.
Okay, like Mike
Something like
Mignola.
that.
Okay.
And then put them into a graphic novel and collect them all.
Okay.
And then maybe sell it later on with a different cover or something like that, with some bonus stuff, stuff like that. But I just, I like creating. I'm actually doing a book with Hojo. That you mentioned him earlier.
Oh, go on.
But it's only a 12-pager.
Okay.
But it's a really good story. I had this cool idea, and then I just shot it over to Hojo, and he wrote the script for me. So we worked together on that, and we just had to rewrite a couple of pages for that. And Corey Barton is going to be doing the cover, if you're familiar with him.
I am not, but go on.
He's an Australian. He did this comic book called Kozar, which did really well.
I've heard. Oh, I know. Oh, yeah, I know about Kozar. Okay. Yeah.
He also is a colorist, so he's going to do the whole cover. He actually worked on Smokes 2, so he did a cover for me for that one. So I have Bob Hall and Corey Barton as both my covers for issue 2. But Weaponized Werewolf's going to take the back seat for a minute because I can't afford to put that many comic books out at a time.
Okay.
But this new title is going to come out. I don't know if I'm going to have it as just an independent campaign or actually come out with Smokes to Fox and kind of like do a twofer again and have 2 comics in one campaign. So both stories are Mike Barron, and they're both connected. You're going to see the same characters in each, some of the same characters. And Rodney Ramos did the inks on both books, and Alonzo did the colors on both books, except for the covers. The covers were both colored by Gerhard. Wow. And I just love that cover. What the story behind that was, Gerhard's in Canada, and he had this print, which was a remake of the Wolverine first appearance.
Oh.
And he did his own version where in the background he had Canadian animals in the background of his print.
Okay.
So I kind of decided, why don't we put some Colorado animals in the background, but nocturnal ones, since it was a night scene. So I gave him a list of all these night animals, like the black bear and the red fox and stuff like that. So he just crammed as many as he could in that cover. And that cover right there is the main cover. That's the Don Perlin, Bob Layton cover.
That's funny you say like a Ghost Rider Fox. He actually had a Ghost Rider personality work on this book, Mars Monkey Max. Actually, let's go down because I think one of them's listed in here, I think. Let's go right down to the credits list. Don Perlin. See? Sometimes. So, wow. Okay. This is something else. I like where you're going with the story. So, okay. With the, let's just say, the disenfranchising of where the mainstream industry went in the more, let's just say, the last 10 years, did it definitely escalate your motivation to get this book out?
Oh yeah,
because of crowdfunding, or was this always going to be something that you were going to always put out? Like, where's like, because I can imagine like that definitely had to have really kickstarted things, especially when a lot of people got influenced because of guys like Richard Meyer way back when.
Yeah, I've always wanted to put my own comic book out. My friend's a pretty good artist. He actually had the opportunity to go to Marvel and have an interview, but he just decided not to do it. I guess he didn't have faith in himself or whatever, didn't think he could do it. But in the future, I do want to come out with a comic book with him. But that was my dream. That was something we always wanted to do. We're just big collectors of comics, and I don't like the direction that that obviously that's going in right now. But I thought it was the right time because it was just eating at me. I got to do something with this character, and I just knew it was the right time with the crowdfunding, and now like StreamYard, where we can all talk to each other from different locations, even different countries, and promote our comics. We have ways now to get our books out there, and I really hustled. I did over 100 and something shows talking about my comic, really hitting the pavement. So it's not like I just turned on my campaign and people just flooded to it. I did pretty well for the first 2 days. Then my campaign kind of fell off a cliff, and I got kind of down on myself about it. And then a couple of days after that, I just decided I got to give it my all, and that's what I did. Is kept pushing. So if you're putting out a comic book out there, don't expect press the launch button and have a good night, and then you call it good, and it's going to promote itself. No, it's not.
Wow, dude, that's incredible. That is wow. Holy crud. So, okay, now I want to know, what was the first sign that you noticed something was going really wrong with this industry? Was it something subtle? Was it something overt? Did you overlook it, or did you sound the sirens early on? I'll admit from my end, I kind of thought, okay, this wasn't really affecting books that I liked too much. little did I know the things that I was enjoying were going to be affected later on. Where were you at with this?
I didn't like how they started redesigning characters and changing their outfits and for worse character designs, and then they started throwing messaging and stuff in the books. Then they got rid of smoking from the comic books, and that's another thing I wanted to bring back. I think in like 2001 they phased out cigarette smoke and cigars, and the Thing can't smoke his cigar, or
That's such a
Logan.
weird thing. I don't even smoke cigars, and I find that weird.
So it was around probably early 2000s where I just got just interested in the mainstream, and now I don't even care about them at all except for the old stuff.
I guess the story went that like Joe Quesada had a family member who had passed away from lung cancer, and he wanted to basically phase it out of the comics. But it's frustrating because we have these characters, these healing factors who are just so iconic, like chain smokers.
Yeah, and, like a lot of those characters became so tied to like stuff like the cigar. Like to me, it's really silly when they get rid of that.
It gives you a bit of extra characterizations for some archetypes, right? So you have the villain smoking a cigar, all shady, and you can see only the silhouette and just the red of the cigar lighting, right? You have that imagery to symbolize somebody that is overly bad. Then you can have somebody like in manga, Sanji, that is one of the heroes, but is the cool hero. So when he stops just to smoke a cigar in the middle of a fight, means that he's getting serious, that things are getting heated, and you have that visual way to express something really quick to the audience, to communicate a really simple idea. When you take that tool, you obviously lose a lot of ways to express on the comics or express anyway, and it erodes the kind of characters that you can present. So it's really stupid. Even if it's something bad, well, then say only the villains can smoke. Make it something bad. Make it the symbol of only the bad guys do it. But still, you are losing a really important tool.
It's funny that Justin mentions like some of these characters who stop smoking, because it's like, once again, I'm not like, I don't smoke like at all, but I don't really get bugged by people who do. Like, people do what people do. Yeah. And I noticed Joe Quesada had a way of, well, this affected my life, so I need that to apply to like things in the comics. Like, obviously, like when he created before I think it was right when he did the One More Day, Brand New Day disaster for Spider-Man. He brought in that character, Carly Cooper. I think it was based off his daughter. And I'm like, and now all of a sudden, well, no, I had this tragedy involved in my life with smoking, so now this has to happen. It's like, there's a fine line of applying, life experience to your stories. But when characters start acting the way they do because, well, this affects you at an emotional level, that's a little bit too much.
Yeah, you need to limit yourself in some regards, especially when you have the authority to regulate what goes into a medium.
You just look really petty.
Yeah, because okay, I hate smoking, right? I normally do not smoke. I use a vaporizer because it's the only reasonable way that I have to don't destroy my lungs. Because I actually need to use marijuana every day. I have an actual medical condition, right? And I don't want to die in other ways. So I'm saving myself from one. I'm not taking the other bullet. I won't go to anybody that is smoking and tell them stop, because it's not my place. It's just not my place. And if I'm doing something that needs somebody smoking, guess what? I will use that in the best way possible. And if I can get a statue of Sanji smoking, I will, because I love Sanji. it doesn't take away that you don't want to do something, doesn't take away that is a good cultural referent for a lot of things. It's a good way to communicate, and also it's something that people enjoy, so let them be.
Straight up. You would think this would be like common sense, but obviously in clown world that has become a lost form of live and let live type of thing. I'm
Quesada took Marvel to shit, man, and I mean that.
No, it's
Quesada.
unfortunate too because during like the 2000s, you're starting. That was the beginning. I guess you could say it was the in some ways the beginning of the end because you had Marvel was like after the filing for bankruptcy, they were coming back with a few strong books like Daredevil's doing great, Captain America was doing great, Iron Fist is doing great, and then all new Marvel happened. And you're like, bro, what? Obviously, Punisher
No.
had his big thing going on with Garth Ennis when he kind of like really like anyone was at the first to do it, but it was definitely the one that a lot of people did their media based work on was the Garth Ennis stuff because he was like, well, I want to have as less space stuff and cosmic stuff involved. I'm like, okay, and the only thing I hate on that is he removed the white gloves. I get why he did, but I was just like, bro, give me my white gloves, man. Come on. Don't just do that. But I get why he did it. And other than that, I do respect Endis's body of work, and it did help give us Warzone. So, and that is my favorite Punisher movie by far and large. I mean, whew, that movie is like it's like Death Wish 3, but for Punisher. Oy.
Man.
Yeah, I know, right? So, anyways, with Smokes the Fox, Weaponized Werewolf, you got a book, you're co-writing with Hojo. Like, man, how does it like feel now that like you're this far in, but yet at the same time you're still so young with all this? Like, even though you had this idea and you still have a long ways to go, like does it like still feel like weird at times? Like, wow, I just shot my shot and this all actually happened because it doesn't really work out this way for everyone. It really does not. And the fact that it did for you, like that had to feel pretty damn good.
Yeah, I funded at 2:30 in the morning on Michael T's channel.
Okay.
Just a few guys in the room, and I remember I went to bed at 3 a.m. around that time, smiling. So I was pretty happy about it. I see. Yeah, I thought there was some statistics online about Kickstarter campaigns. Like, what is it? Like 60 something percent of them fail. So
I
you never
think there's
know.
a
You
reason
don't
for
know.
that with those things. So I don't think that's one of those things where I think if a lot of them fail, I don't think that's something that happens like just because. I truly do believe there is reason for that. And sometimes
Yeah.
that could be some guys just think, well, if I just put the book on there, that's it. Like they don't have to talk about it. No, it'd be one thing if like you're like a Sean Gordon Murphy, sure, okay. But if you're a guy who's not really out there, you do have to go in out there and really let people know, hey, this book is out there. Because there's still a lot of people who still don't know about these mediums for these comics. So I feel like it's still very important to,
Mhm.
put
Yeah.
yourself out there, let people know, hey, guys, I'm not putting this out in the traditional means. Check this out, whether it's Kickstarter, Indiegogo, Fund My Comic. This is where I'm putting this comic at. Just because you exist doesn't mean people are going to flock to it. You still have to make yourself known. Unless, once again,
Also,
unless you're Sean Gordon Murphy.
there's something really important for this kind of campaigns. You need to have something already done, and people are really quick to smell bullshit. Are really quick to smell when you don't have anything, and you are just saying, "I'm going to do this comic." Shows, and I have seen a lot of campaigns that are really, really stretching the little material that they have. Just wait, work a bit more. It will take time, and you will need to take a lot of how do I say this? You will need to go hungry a couple of times. It's okay. That's part of doing this. But if you can present enough to the people that they know that you are finishing, that you are actually delivering, it's way easier for them to give you money. And that's why a lot of the things that actually fail on Kickstarter fail because, well, it doesn't feel like something that you should be spending money on. Is not on yet, right?
Yeah, it's uncertain sometimes. There's fly by night creators who just take the money and run. But I fulfilled actually on time,
Yep.
which I wanted to do. I gave myself a realistic timeline when I can complete it, and I wanted to be pretty much almost completed before I launched because I was worried about that too. I didn't want people to not trust me or whatever, not believe in me that I was able to do it. So I waited very late stage when I was about 90% done before I even thought about launching.
Good.
Ooh,
That's
that
exactly that.
is really good. That's you want to talk about goodwill. That's a good way of garnering goodwill. It almost seems like you went for the Mike Barron method that way because he did that with Nexus. He did that with his last Florida Man as well. He just basically he had those books either nearly done, if not done, got the campaigns launched, and then once they were done, he shut the books out. Like that's a great way to go about it. Like obviously, I don't believe in a one size like fits all. You do what works best for you. Some people they genuinely do need the money to get this stuff going, and if it does motivate you to get into gear, awesome, great. That once again, whatever works best. But yeah, it's cool to see guys who can say, "Hey, listen, this stuff it's already nearly done. I just need to see how many copies we're going to ship out." Who else did that? Our buddy, I don't know if you know him, but his name is Russ Leach, him and Randy Zimmerman. They did a comic on the character Cole the Conqueror, for the Shadow Kingdom Robert E. Howard story. We had him on a few months ago. And yeah, they already had their story completely done. They just want to figure out how many copies could they potentially sell. And that's where they went with it. And the rest is history. I got my copy. I've read it. I got to reread it again. But that's great to see that. And it's good because now that we've been in this space of comics for a few years, we're seeing a little bit of what works, obviously what doesn't. But I think it's good to learn from what doesn't because you can say, okay, here's how I can improve for next time. Because redemption arcs are possible. Absolutely, redemption arcs are possible. And if you make an error, okay, well, hey, how can you improve it in the future? If you can do that, I think a lot more people are forgiving than most people realize. I truly believe in my heart of hearts, we can be more forgiving as long as we have an idea of what's going on.
People like comebacks.
Oh, yeah. Oh. All right. Anyways, chat, I'm going to, once again, this is Smokes the Fox 1, Weaponized Werewolf 0. I'm putting in the chat one more time for our buddy Justin here.
Thank you.
So please bookmark it. If Ken's back it tonight, bookmark it so you can. Let us know when you do as well. I want to know. I can't wait for my copy to come in. I will definitely be highlighting it on here.
Yeah, I'll get that right out to you, man. No problem.
Okay. Hey, if I see it in a few days, I will have it. The soon as I have it for a Friday show because I'm anxious to read it, and I love going through comics like that. Does it have that new comic spell? I gotta be that guy. Does it have it or no?
Yeah, it was actually printed on a offset press. I know a lot of people using the digital presses nowadays, but my place uses the old school way. It's not on the newsprint, but it's great paper. I got it done locally, so I kind of kept everything in Colorado, kind of local, but also professional. I wanted to use the best people for the job. You were talking about Rob Liefeld earlier. I have Kurt Hathaway as my editor. He worked for Liefeld at Extreme Studios, and he created, I believe, the Extreme Studios logo.
Woo!
So I worked with him on the Smokes logo and the Weaponized Werewolf logo. I thought they turned out pretty well. So I put a lot of time and effort in every single aspect of the book. I left nothing unturned. That was my biggest critic. I would see things in the book that I wouldn't like or didn't like 100%, so we would change it. So it took a while to come out, so I wanted to really do a good job. And it is a lot of work. It's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
I'm sure.
A lot harder.
Yeah,
and I didn't know anything about pre-press or shipping. doing the fulfillment. So I shipped out every package myself. Yeah, it's not that hard.
Wow.
I enjoyed it.
So I was looking at the comic, and I was wondering, like, was there any influence from like Sonic the Hedgehog? Because I mean, the name
the
sort of
eyes.
tells that. Well, no. Well, the thing that popped out at me, I was thinking of was the naming convention: Smokes the Fox, Sonic the Hedgehog, Knuckles the Echidna.
Cerebus the Aardvark. I got it from kind of like from that title, and that's why he has the Una Eye, the one eye. But some people have pointed out that Sonic has the Una Eye too.
Okay.
But I was a fan of Sonic, and also someone pointed out that it has a kind of a familiar look with Star Fox. So you know that? Remember that video?
Oh, dude, that was my jam
then-
back in the N64 days.
Yeah, and I didn't know, but probably subconsciously it was it came from that video game, a combination of things with Cerebus, and just wanted to put out my own IP.
Nice. Also, I even have the Wii U game. So yeah, kinda know Star Fox.
It's on Wii U.
Yeah, Star Fox Zero.
Oh, I
Okay,
didn't know
this is a really weird story because Nintendo was developing something. They got frustrated. They gave the game to Platinum. Platinum actually finished Star Fox Zero, and they make a really incredible space shooter. The only thing, you need two screens, so you have to shoot on the gamepad while you are watching what's going on the TV. So that's why the game actually failed, because you have to look at two screens and it's really confusing. But the game is beautiful. It plays really, really good on the flying. The shooting is shit. And it pains me to say because the 3DS game was absolutely beautiful. It was a remake for the 64 game. The GameCube, the one that you actually had shooting, Star Fox, not Adventure, the other one, but whatever the title is, was great. Nintendo is not doing much with the franchise now.
Yeah,
They went silent.
were everywhere with it, and then they were nowhere with it. It's really odd because, dude, I remember the original Star Fox on Super NES, and then of course Rumble Pack happened, and 64 happened, and dude, every fiber of my being was all in on those games. Woo!
Yeah, I love that game on N64.
Well, the thing is, Nintendo's always been a company that sort of plays to their own beat, which is why there's just certain brands they do not want to do sequels to. For all the criticism I can give Nintendo, at least they don't try to just put titles out solely to cash grab. Because otherwise, like, they would have released Mother 3 like 10 years ago.
Oh. By the way,
a very fair point.
I mean it. Release Mother 3. We got Airborne Zero. That's the original Mother on the Wii U Virtual Console, and goddamn, it's the only place where you actually can play that game. Just straight up release from Nintendo. Oh, the Mini, the
Wii,
Mini, right?
The Super Nintendo Mini.
Yeah, but that's impossible to get. So
I've got one and I modded it.
Oh, I envy you so much.
But I mean, they do turn around. They'll also put out games like F-Zero 99, which just ended. But it'll be like just a little free multiplayer, F-Zero game. That
it was good.
Yeah, and it's like it would almost seem like the easy idea would be to do a game like that, maybe charge like $1 or $2, and use that as sort of market research to see if people do want that classic title to come back.
Wow.
But no, they're like, here's a little game, have it, it's free.
Wait,
Go ahead, Pablo.
Is Shigesato Itoi still alive?
He might be.
Do Mother 4, motherfucker.
No, one day, maybe one day, if they find the right idea, we could get a follow up to a Star Fox. Because do I feel like it could actually benefit from more? Yes. Do I feel like the demand would be there? Yeah. Especially with how long it has been. I feel like, especially if they got the right people involved. I mean, now obviously, if the wrong people involved, then yes, just please leave it as is. Don't mess with a good thing. That's what I'll backtrack my words. But if they can get the right people involved, dude, I feel like you want to talk about outside of Mike Tyson boxing again, you could probably actually bring the world back together again with those two things. Mike Tyson boxing and hopefully winning, and then Star Fox having a new game. Those two things will straight up bring the world together, because I remember many nights of late night drinking liters of Mountain Dew, ordering those big New Yorker pizzas, playing games like that, Mario Kart, WWF No Mercy. Those were the way of all life once upon a time.
Well, Nick, now you gotta step your game up. You gotta go get some Jets.
Oh, dude, yeah. Well, see, I've known about Jets for a bit. I have known about it. I just have never ever gotten around to it. But I know about Jets. It looks great. There's a good place by me, not far, and there's a guy who sells. It's a local joint. He makes Detroit style pizza too, except he's from Detroit. He's non-chain. He's a local guy, and his is really good, dude. I'll tell you what, man. It ain't cheap. It ain't cheap. But is it bloody damn good? Oh, you damn right it's good. It's so freaking good. But Jets will be a priority. Trust me.
So, all right. So since we're on the subject of pizza, let's ask the pizza question then.
Let's do it.
Justin, what's your go-to topping for pizza?
Pepperoni.
Okay.
Or extra
okay.
cheese.
Simple guy.
Sometimes.
I like it. I like it.
I just recently got on the extra cheese bandwagon.
Oh, dude. Isn't it just great?
Oh, she's good. Especially when it's like dangerously cheesy, like Chester Cheeto used to say.
Oh, dude. Yeah. To me, like, it's one of those things where it's just like you always say yes to cheese. And if there's more cheese, well, then just put more cheese on top of that. Like, I could order 3 to 4 toppings worth of cheese, and I'd be very, very damn satisfied. Seriously. Hey, what's up, Muhammad said? How you doing, buddy? Been a member for 2 months. Says, rewatching what he's rewatching. Keywords. Remember that. Rewatching. Emphasis on rewatching. One Piece anime. The One Piece old animation has grit and heart. I need to read more X-Men. Donkey Kong Country was difficult. Okay, well, Donkey Kong Country was an incredible game. Beat it many times. Would do it again if I ever get a hold of system again. I think in a few weeks, homie. I think on 2 Fridays from the 25th, we're talking. Is it Weapon X? We're talking, guys. Casper and Pablo, we're talking Weapon X. Yeah, we'll be talking. We'll be doing an episode dedicated to that comic, Wolverine Weapon X, because it's right at time with that movie, and we figure why not highlight a good X-Men comic? Because for all we know, maybe a movie might be good, maybe it might be absolute crap, but we'll at least give people an outlet to go to. Hey, here's something good from Once Upon a Time, and for some of us on the panel, we've actually never even read it. So it's a perfect time as ever to talk about a classic comic. And that's something we try to do like at least once a month, is highlight a classic comic. Here he goes. That Barry Windsor Smith art. Dude.
Yeah, he's my favorite artist.
He's incredible. Straight up. He is, oh man, I remember when I first saw this cover. I was just like, holy crap, that's a busy cover, but it's a damn good cover. It's so good. Barry Windsor Smith is incredible. Like, it's conflicting because, like, especially on Conan, sometimes he bounces up and down between him and John Buscema. The dude, but either way, like, exceptional talent, dude. I'm zooming in on you, Caster.
Of course, we gotta show off the
Oh,
goods.
hey, this looks like a nice homoerotic shot of showing that little Tokyo. Do I need to play that Brandon Lee clip again? You look puzzled.
I remember I was in junior high school and a kid showed me Weapon X for the first time
Oh,
in the
dude.
lunchroom. Yeah.
Wow, Weapon X is my favorite Wolverine comic. Well, you know what? I love the Claremont Miller story. That's absolutely incredible. Short but awesome body of work. And I can't wait myself to see what this Weapon X is about because I myself have admittedly not read it, but I'm excited because I get to have that like late bloomer, like, holy crap, where was this all my life? Because I remember that cover. I remember the cover. For me, Windsor Smith, I knew from, once again, the Conan side of things. But, oh, see, I don't recognize that piece. But now that I do, oh, wow. You know what I like on his claws? You could feel the material of the claws. You can almost feel like what they're made of on those pages.
Yep.
That is
Oh.
nuts, dude.
Man.
Look at the scenery too, with the snow and all too. Like, jeez, wow.
It feels reminiscent in some ways of like Calvin and Hobbes of all things.
Okay.
Oh, the
Like-
trees.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see where you're going. Yep.
No, that is.
But of course.
Oh yeah, there's
My
that car.
God.
Oi.
And we'll do
Kick my ass. Holy.
we'll do one last 2-page spread.
Yeah.
2 pages of
Yeah. Do it. Oh. Holy crap! Is he on fire in that one image? Literally.
Yeah,
he's
he's-
on- Jeez.
Man too angry to die.
That sounds like something of like a canon 80s action movie. Man too angry to die.
Oh, that's an anime trope. The
Is
power of I'm pissed off is amazingly strong when you are dying.
That sounds like something Dolph Lundgren would star in. Man too angry to die. I can see Dolph Lundgren starring in a movie like that. Seriously, that actually fits the mold for perfect because I can't see Van Damme doing that type of movie. I can't see Seagal or even Brandon Lee, but that's right up Lundgren's alley. Man
Strangely
too angry
enough,
to die.
man, that's the explanation why Anakin Skywalker stays alive and becomes Darth Vader. Because he's so pissed off that he doesn't die from the burns.
Oh,
That's how he survives.
bro. I'm not giving right now. I don't even want to think about Star Wars. I'm like,
Yep.
Oh damn! Oh, where is
You have
it?
the biggest dick I've ever seen on a man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Conan Lowe,
So-
is a national treasure. Go ahead, Caster.
So a couple of little pizza questions for you since we've gotten completely off track here.
Yeah.
All right, probably the most important question of all.
Uh-oh.
What is it?
Pineapple on pizza.
No. Fuck no.
Good man.
No, all right. That's a very interesting. Now, have you tried it? And I'm not saying that from the perspective of being a fan. I'm just saying, have you tried it? That's not a.
No, I probably wouldn't try it.
Okay. I have tried it, and I don't really get the big deal about it. Like, I've tried it, and to me, it's just like, oh, I don't necessarily hate it, but I don't really like it. It's like that whole statement about the opposite of love is not hate; it's a difference. I just felt nothing having it. To me, pineapple's just a distraction argument. If you want to get down the conspiratorial well here, if you will, I feel like pineapple is nothing more than the distraction argument to hide from the real enemy. The real enemy is anchovies.
Yes.
Anchovies is a straight up assassination. Anchovies is like the one more
It's
day,
the
brand new
time of
day
pizza
of
toppings.
pizza. That's what anchovies is. It's the one more day, brand new day of pizza. It should have never been a thing ever. And I tried. I could say I tried, and I felt like regret. I actually I could like look at myself in the mirror for like a day after I had that. I was like, why? Why did you do it to yourself? What happened to self respect? Why? Yeah, don't just don't. Oh yeah, pizza for me. I do like a plain cheese, but you know what works really well on its own, but does not work well with other toppings? Garlic. I don't know what it is about garlic.
Huh.
If you get a pizza, just garlic. Just if you order a pizza and the ingredient is garlic, it's gonna be good. But if you put it with anything, no matter if it's pepperoni, no matter if it's jalapenos, no matter if it's sausage, for some reason, whatever that ingredient is that's not garlic always gets canceled out. Garlic always gets canceled out. I don't get it. I don't know how it happens. I don't know why it happens, but it freaking does.
Sounds like a job for artichoke. Oh, in Italian pizza, you use artichoke. You know what it is, right?
Yeah.
It's basically a flour. Well, it's a really tasty flour. It doesn't really kills the garlic. Actually, will potentiate the flavor.
Okay.
Excellent.
Uh, and it's an actual traditional topping. So, yeah, maybe it works.
All right. We're gonna highlight from my buddy Makini Draws. Woo! What's up,
What's up, Mark?
Makini? Sends a $10 super sticker. He gives
Nice.
a cat with a heart. Dude, Makini, thank you for the 10, sir. Dude, it's been a long time, man. I hope you are well. Um, I know you're not on Twix anymore. If you ever need to like talk, like reach out, man. Just reach out to my email. I have it listed on the YouTube stuff. Just reach out, man. I'd like to chat with you about linking up again, whether it's here or on your channel, man. Hope you're well, dude. Thank you for the 10. Man, that is a very welcome sight to see. But thank you, sir. All right. You said, Caster, you have 5 books you wanted to highlight.
Yeah. So one of the things I've decided with the rebranding of the show and that's sort of kind of trying to sort of shift priorities a little bit with this and try to change things up.
Yeah.
One of the things I've been doing is trying to kind of go and highlight a few books that are out in shops, like upcoming books coming out next week. Because as much as it is, as fun as it is to kind of go and poo poo on all the modern books out, I think it's worth talking about the books that we might be looking forward to. And so I want to at the very least kind of highlight a few books that if for no other reason are on my radar, books that I'm aware of.
Okay. Well, hey, we do give credit where it's due. If there's something that is worth highlighting, I mean, we've been talking Energon Universe here for some months now, and of course, Conan the Barbarian. Yeah, I'm pulling up your screen right now. Let's do it.
So first and foremost, of course, since we've been talking about the Energon Universe all this time, that's got to be the top pick of the week. Despero #2 from Dan Waters, with art by Andre Bresson. And of course, we got to highlight our colorists, such as Adriana Lucas.
Adriana Lucas. I like his
The world
name.
is changing. and Destro means to come out on top. But with Cobra Commander breathing down his neck, and mercenaries Zaymot and Tomax seeking to dethrone him as the world's premier weapons manufacturer, he'll have to survive the future in order to build it. And let's stop to highlight these covers real quick.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
His head's shiny.
Yeah.
Very shiny head, that Destro. Very shiny head. Ooh, someone's got eyes on him too. Oh boy.
Okay.
Now who's this character, Caster?
So
since you've been reading a lot of the old school Joe.
So this is, I forget which one it is, either Tomax or Zaymot, which are the twins that are other rival weapons manufacturers. They share a psychic link, and so they feel pain. So they'll feel pain when one or the other is hurt.
Okay, awesome.
And as we saw with the end of the last book, basically they declared war on Destro.
Yes. No, I did like the way the Destro #1 did end. I'm curious to see where this one goes.
Oh yeah, thank you, Oakley. Zaymot has the scar on his cheek, so there is a way. So basically, they'll be mirrors of each other, except one of them has a scar on their cheek.
As that cover's loading, I'm
There
going
we
to
go.
acknowledge this really quick. Jennifer Grover, Canadian 5, says, "Hey guys, just want to say hi. Hello, Jennifer. Good to hear from you. Hopefully your Friday night is going good. Thank you for dropping by. Cheers and beers to you. Carry on, Caster."
They got some good. I just appreciate that. Like, a lot of good definition there on that one. This looks to be
This
a
is Tyler
limited-
Kirkham. I recognize the style very well. Because I know before I hopped off DC, when he was a part of the Superman Rebirth stuff, I was really enjoying Tyler Kirkham.
Yeah. So this is of course the first book that's on my list. These new G.I. Joe comics inspired and Transformers comics look great and seem to be interesting reads. Steven, I cannot recommend the Energon Universe enough. It is like without a doubt like the best mainstream books that are coming out right now.
Yes, I will backcaster as a newbie to Transformers and G.I. Joe. It's been fun reading a lot of these books, and I've been having the time of my life getting lost in this world of characters, and it just feels so accessible. It's lots of action, a lot of great character moments for lots of the characters too. It's been an absolute joy, and the fact that like Once Upon a Time continuity was like this big thing, we're seeing that absolutely matter again in our comics the way it should.
Next, since we were talking about all these we're going back to a lot of like classic iconic characters in this. It's always worth taking a moment to appreciate the cheesecake that's out there. And there's nothing people love more than than chicks and swords or chicks with swords. So next, we got Witchblade #1 is having a relaunch coming for Inge Comics.
Oh, is Silvestri on this?
I believe he's getting creator credits. But at the very least he's done a cover for it. So there is we have a Mark Silvestri cover on it.
Okay, yeah, he's still got it style wise.
She's a character I've always been had some interest in.
Toxic.
And with them relaunching and doing a new #1 here, this feels like the perfect opportunity to jump onto a character that's always been around, has had anime adaptations even.
Yep, had a live show adaptation, even though they barely acknowledge the comic in it.
Of course, we gotta have those blank covers.
Bennett.
I love Silvestri's work. I got to meet him last year.
Oh, did you? Nice. Yeah. I hear he's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's very tall. I'm 6'1", and I had to look up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was wondering why he doesn't do a lot of shows except for like California and stuff. Because I found out that it's because he's so tall that it's kind of hard to travel far distances because in those cramped seats.
Oh, see, I thought it was because the doors weren't tall enough.
No.
Oh wow. I guess for Mark Sylvester, I guess that's literally, wait for it, that's high praise. Total dad joke, but I had to because he's tall and high. So, okay. So which one? Is it Margaret? Isn't she that one lady who was working with Sean Gordon Murphy on a comic?
Maybe. Real quick.
No, I'll have to look into her because I feel like she is. But go ahead, go forward. Well, you do that.
Yep. So Sarah Pizzini is back in an all new origin story, a reimagining of the classic storyline with this high octane supernatural thriller. Starts at the beginning of the familiar characters and all new story arcs. New York City's police detective Sarah Pizzini's life was forever fractured by her father's murder. Cold, cunning, and hell-bent on revenge, Sarah now stalks a vicious criminal cabal beneath the city, where an ancient power collides and transforms her into something wild, magnificent, and beyond her darkest imaginations. From co-creator Mark Silvestri of The Darkness, Cyberforce, Batman and the Joker, and writer Margaret Bennett of Animosity, Batwoman, and DC Bombshells, with artist Giuseppe Cafaro of Suicide Squad, Power Rangers, Red Sonja, comes a bold new era for Witchblade.
So it sounds like this book might actually have some toxicity in it. I'm mistook her for another lady. I looked at her, I mistook her for another lady, but it looks like she's going to be involved in a toxic book, and that's something the American mainstream market is certainly lacking. So hopefully it has it.
Yeah, this is one I'm going to at least give one issue to check out because you always want to be hopeful going in. You don't want to sit here and say it's all bad, it's all awful. I want to be pleasantly surprised.
That's fair. I get that.
So next, of course, we with all the praise we've had for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, there was of course a huge wave of books that came along that sort of followed in its footsteps and played that same sort of game where we got to take and combine an animal with some concept, like Street Sharks.
Street Sharks is my jam.
Radical Mummies or Mummies Alive. But of course, out next week as well, Biker Mice from Mars, #1.
Who's writing this?
I used to watch that.
Melissa Flores with art by Francis Portela, and the letterer is Taylor Esposito. I can't even say the name. I'm sorry.
Esposito.
Cover artist is Dustin Weaver.
I recognize Dustin Weaver from when the TMNT IDW book was good. When Kevin Eastman was doing the book, and I know Dustin Weaver did some stuff during that era. This was when it was actually Eastman and Tom Waltz on TMNT, and that 1 through 100 issue run of TMNT is so bloody good. And it was also one of those franchises where I even liked a lot of the imitators that came out in the 90s because TMNT basically inspired Biker Mice from Mars, Street Sharks, SWAT Cats. I remember liking all of the ripoffs. It's one of those rare things where I liked a lot of the ripoffs almost as much as the OG. I think my favorite ripoff was probably the SWAT Cats, but I did have some life for the old school Marvel Biker Mice from Mars. That's for sure.
Dude, I love SWAT Cats. That was one of my favorites. I even backed the Kickstarter to try and help do the series revival, but that just sadly didn't go anywhere.
Dude, I like everything in the show except that stupid. Which one? My Minion toy. Dude, don't make me show up the Minion toy again. I'm gonna do it. Don't. You threaten me like that? I'm gonna do it again. But before I do it again, Caster, you carry on.
Let's see. Best friends Throttle, Modo, and Vinny were just 3 anthropomorphic motorcycle riding mice who called Mars home and were always bad to the bone. But when the ruthless Plutarchians stage a mass invasion to strip their planet of its precious resources. Their anti-authoritarian streak is going to turn into a full-blown insurgency. Only the biker mice from Mars can prevent the mass destruction of Earth's neighbor, and the freedom of our entire solar system may just hang in the balance. Leading into the upcoming animated series by executive producer Brian Volkweis, Cisco Henson, Matt Kravinsky, and Michael Goodman from the Nacelle Company. Maximum Efforts Ryan Reynolds, George Dewey. So apparently we're getting an animated series, and we also got to make sure we get the names of all the actors involved. See, Ashley Fox.
Bringing it back as a show?
Apparently so. By the way, apparently breaking news.
Yeah, I was gonna say this breaking news. Like no one sent me the memo on that. Okay.
I don't know if it's good news, current day and all, but I'm kind of interested.
But hey, look, again, let's be pleasantly surprised. We'll check out a trailer when that comes out. The summer's most anticipated return revs up the action as never before told chapter of Biker Mice history stands revealed. Mars Wars starts now.
Biker Mice from Mars. I remember that intro is coming back to my mind. Man, the Hanna-Barbera era was a time of just absolute greatness. Ryan Reynolds sounds good. Dude, I love this cartoon. I had a few of these figures. I had the guy to the left. I had his figure. I remember that. I couldn't tell you what happened to it now, but man, I loved it.
So I got a hot take for you guys.
Okay.
I am fucking sick to death of Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, but
like the man does not act, and he's hired to be Ryan Reynolds and everything. Ryan Reynolds is playing Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool. No, get him out of here. He doesn't act anymore. I don't want to see no more Ryan Reynolds.
The thing is that basically for, I will say, like 10 years, Deadpool was actually written as Ryan Reynolds. So it was a match made in heaven. In any of the Deadpool movies he ever actually tried acting, he was just being himself. And that worked because he was written as Deadpool. Is tiresome at some point? Yes. I'm actually hyped for the movie though.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Like I will probably actually go see that, but I'm just it gets to a point where certain actors are sort of these larger than life characters where they have this persona that they bring to everything, like which is part of why they're cast. Like, you know, when you get The Rock
or Woody Allen, or well,
once I stop being able to see, once it's just I see the actor on screen and not like I can't buy them as the character. It's just too distracting as this is Ryan Reynolds. It gets to be a problem. Sometimes
you get surprised though. Think about basically in every single movie, including The Matrix, Keanu Reeves is just Keanu Reeves. He's basically Ted, and that's all he is. And you see John Wick, and he's still Ted, but this violent Ted, and actually it's really fun to watch.
Yeah,
it made a whole franchise out of just being himself, but angry.
So I've got just 2 books left.
Okay,
and I hope I'm not taking too much of the time here.
Oh, no.
So maybe I'll speed up a little bit.
It's okay because after these books we do got to plug out. So
okay. Next, it's there's always that classic love of you want to see more lore based on video games, so they sometimes do comics. Well, coming to us from Udon, Final Fight #1.
Why?
Wow.
I'm not complaining, but why?
Oh, Matthew Weldon's on here. He was the artist on the first Florida Man book.
Really?
Hold on, no. Hold on. The second Florida Man book, actually. He did the
Wait.
song. I'm mixing my artists up. He did the second Florida Man book, the most recent one, versus
Hogzilla.
Hogzilla. Yeah.
Oh,
See,
and
that has to
and
be
on-
the same guy. That has to be the same
Yeah.
guy. Well,
yeah, I and he's also on Soul Finder from Iconic.
wow.
Dude, this is a genius move. This is the perfect comic for this era. Because you can have actual masculine men doing masculine things, and also you have Poison. So you get all the representation covered, and it's already canon.
Mhm.
By the way, for the people that don't know who Poison is, he's a character that you have seen on this, on Street Fighter, and in a couple of things more. And it's a really hot chick with a really skimpy outfit and a cop hat. Well, she's packing. Well, he's packing. And that has been canon for 30 something years now. So
Basically,
Yeah.
since creation, since the character's creation.
it's a he. It's the hottest babe you can ever see. People were drooling about the character, and then they get to see the story. And man, oh man,
So Udon has been doing a bunch of like Street Fighter comics, Darkstalker comics, Final Fight. Basically, they have a bunch of these like Capcom characters and the like. And so, they always kind of get something out about once a month or so. So there's always something worth checking out there with them for those. For example, I've got one of my favorite Darkstalkers characters was Hisenko, who just had a comic come out like 2-3 months ago. Divana, that's right. That's Udon's bread and butter. They do those. I think they did. Oh no, I'm thinking Archie Comics. No, but yeah, no, that's basically what you can expect from them. And I'll say the last one for when Nick gets back because
I'm
this
back.
is
Sorry, my
Okay.
allergies have really escalated in the last 20, 30 minutes. But I hate complaining, but man, dude, I hate it. It's like I hate it the way Vince McMahon hates Steve Austin, the Attitude Era. So, yeah, show me that final cover, Caster, or
Okay,
you're
so-
fired.
Oh shit. So the last book I have to highlight for next week is it comes from Titan Comics, from Titan Books. And with as much love as we give to Conan, the big buff muscular dude, like sometimes you gotta go the opposite route here, and you gotta go and highlight a lot of those iconic pulp characters. And well, who better to go with for pulp characters than Mr. Michael Moorcock, and one of his characters such as Elric and Melbourne.
Oh yeah, I did hear about this. Yeah, about Elric. Yeah, no, hey, no, I'm not familiar with Elric and Moorcock's work, but I know you're a fan, and I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, so this is, I believe, going to be the 5th series for the Elric comics. But hey, any number one should be a good jumping on place for a character. It should be able to go check it out to want to look into more of the character.
Elric. Holy crud. What? Davina Duckworth would know. She knows her stuff. What does
Elric is basically the template for even Geralt of Rivia on The Witcher.
Yep. I mean, as I'm sure you no doubt recall, Razorfist did a like hour-long breakdown video of how he was plagiarized. Geralt of Rivia and The Witcher were plagiarized from Elric.
Yep. Oh yeah, great video, outstanding video. I have watched that. Hey, that's an essay video. That's one of his essay videos, but he does bring some really good arguments to the table. So if people wonder like if that's just an emotional reaction, yeah, I mean if you don't watch it, you'll think that. But if you actually watch it, no, he brings a really good argument to the table, same way he did with the Michael Jackson case. I would strongly recommend watching that if you have not. It is really damn good stuff.
And that's by and large the 5 books I'm looking forward to. I'm sure you all who've been paying attention might have noticed by now that I basically don't really look at what Marvel and DC put out anymore. I found, and that's one of the big things I've kind of found is when I stopped doing that, when I stopped looking at what Marvel and DC put out, I started opening myself up to a lot more stuff out there. There are days where I leave the comic shop with more books than when I would have when I was just only reading Marvel and DC.
It's that the truth set you free, sir. What's up, DJ Play Nice? Thank you for being here and have a great night, sir. Appreciate that. Let's see. We got a direct donation here, and I gotta find it within me. Let's give this one last hit for the Patreon.
Vulcan.
Lives. And he gives a ooh, that actually hurt my face, but whatever. It was worth it. That was worth it. Oh man. He said, here's to the best comic show on the YouTubes. Always a top-notch panel. Also, really glad you were able to finally get Justin on. Huge.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
My pleasure. And I hope, when you have the next issue lined up, I would love to have you back on. And I would definitely love to take a visit to the man cave someday. So we'll have to be in touch on that. And I can't wait for your book, sir. Vulcan, by the way, dude, thank you for that. I do appreciate that, sir. You did not have to, but I'm going to make sure that's spent well. Well, probably treat the family out to a delicious pizza this weekend. It's going to be good. Thank you, sir. We hear a thud next. Dude, yeah. My right now, everything my place hates me. Everything. But it's okay. It's worth it. Anyways, welcome. Hello, Madhouse Retro Gaming. Yes, it is the best. Dude, yeah. Here, you know what? Because Vulcan sent to 20, let's do a bonus for Vulcan. For Vulcan. There you go. There you get a bonus one tonight for that one. It's one of those clips that will never get old. Watching Thanos mollywop the shite out of Captain Marvel. All right, gents. This is going to be the part where we plug on out. Pablo, we're going to start off with you, sir.
Hey, Midnight Sage, more videos coming, Midnight Sage Espanol. There's things happening on the background. And, well, stay tuned. And what can I say? Another great Friday, another Friday of just chilling and enjoying comics with the friends. So, guys, I'm really happy to be here. Chat, I'm always happy to see everything you have to say. And, man, I'm just enjoying my time here.
And your time and energy and enthusiasm is always appreciated, sir. You have a freaking excellent weekend. And as always, I will see you soon. And guys, yes, go subscribe to Midnight Edge Espanol. I'm sure Andre's got deadlines for you for the next video. I'm sure. So I was talking to him yesterday morning at the members stream. So keep at it, man. I love hanging out with you every week. It's truly been a gift to hang out with you between what was once a comic shop talk to now Clobby's comic shop. Let's keep this ride going, brother. And then there's the Ironcaster, sir.
Hello, friends, it's Ironcaster. And guys, thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for making us part of your day, part of your week, as part of the start into the weekend. You can, of course, find me on my channel, Ironcaster, where we do on Monday nights we do the Mech Pit chat, where we talk about all that fun big robot stuff from Transformers and Transformers, maybe a little G.I. Joe, some Kamen Rider, Ultraman, Super Sentai, Iron Man, just all that. Basically, a lot of that big, fun, cool, like kaiju stuff, and just whatever's just kind of fun to talk about. Because there's too little time left in the world to focus on all the stuff we hate. I don't want to sit here and talk about how much I don't like Star Wars right now. I don't want to talk about like how much I'm not enjoying a show that, frankly, I'm not going to watch. But you can find me over there you can find me on my channel for that. Tomorrow night I will be on with the T-shirt historian for Week in Geek, where we will no doubt be talking about Wizards of the Coast because they sure love to stick their foot into it each and every single little week. And
just bagnado.
Like
just bagnado. I'll take the bullet. I just made that deck. I will take the bullet. Who cares? Bagnado.
Of course, my little buddy Charlie B will be around. Who's around here somewhere? Actually, let me go find him. We'll be around here for the Cotton Council tomorrow night with Snow Dub and the boys. Where I don't know, the puppets are gonna try where the puppets are gonna sit here and solve all the world's problems. Like, let me here, Charlie. What do you think? You got any problems to solve tomorrow? Well, yeah. Like what? Well, that's we need them. Yeah. Well, you say you have to solve the world's problems, but you got to actually tell us what you're going to solve.
He doesn't know.
No,
or does he?
No,
not
he's too busy running a puppet nightclub.
Oh, that's a lot of work. Let's be fair. That takes some serious commitment.
A gentleman's line of work.
Straight up, man. We all you know to have that line of work to run that type of club. Woo! Wheaties on the coast. Puppet.
Don't trust those sorcerers on the shore. And finally, Tuesday, over with Pops and Stone Loki for Talk Hard, we're finally getting to Jaws this week.
Ooh, legendary flick. Our buddy Andy Masterson met Richard Dreyfuss in Dallas a few weeks ago at the Fan Expo there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Shout out to Andy Masterson and Gary Ambrosia. I think Mark's 47 from the chat was there too. I ran into him at the con. So legends.
I'm gonna drop some links in the chat as well. I have a Discord where I don't know. I'm probably gonna run some Dungeons and Dragons in the next couple weeks. So yeah, why don't we come on by? Maybe we'll roll some dice. We'll have some fun.
All right, awesome, Caster. Thank you, sir. As always, thank you for balancing out the optimism with all the crazy that happens amongst us in Clown World. It's super necessary, super inviting, and very enticing as well. And as always, you and I will be in touch as we always are, sir. You have a what?
Currently my unread stack. Like, I'm trying to get through this stuff slowly.
Oh, dude. Oh, hey, you're following, get in line, man. I know how it is. Because I have all my stack is ever.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I figured I'd go out with a nice little perk or two.
I see what you did there. All right. Oakley Vandal says, this is why I watch this show on Fridays. After a week of hearing how shit everything new is, it's where I say to sit down, just listen to discuss about good comics. So we're out.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for being here, Oakley. It's good to have you around here, bud, and have a great weekend. Okay. The next one, Vulcan Liz, who's of course been there for 10 months, is don't forget to back Smokes the Fox and Weaponize Werewolf Dudes, which I'm going to highlight that in the chat one last time for our friend and gentleman here on the panel. So, Justin, have the floor one last time to promote your comic.
You can find me mainly on X, Justin_Belmont. I also have my own show on YouTube on Thursday nights. We do the Man Cave. That's at 6 p.m. Eastern. We just have a good time. It's like guys' night out without going anywhere. So
I like that.
I think you guys would enjoy it. Yeah, check out Smokes the Fox, Weaponized Werewolf. 2 comics, both written by Mike Barron. Something I've been trying to put out there since I was 15 years old. So many years. Just decided to do it. You should do that. Just go with your idea. If you have something you want to do, just do it. You only get one chance. In this world, you only get one time to do what you want to do. And I got Smokes 2 in the works. So that's another Mike Barron script.
Woo!
It's already done deal. 5 pages are done and completed. So I'm really excited about that. And we got Bob Hall doing one of the covers.
Wow.
And
nice.
Corey Barton. And maybe the stuff that I'm doing with Hojo will throw in there and have like a 2 comics deal like we did for my first campaign. So I'm just having fun making comics, enjoying everything. When it's not fun anymore, I'll probably be gone. You know what I mean? I'm not here for anything else. But I really appreciate you guys having me on. It's a good time.
Hey, thanks for coming on, man. A pleasure having you on here. It was awesome to get to know you, get to hear your story. I can't wait to read your comic. I'm really excited to read your comic. So I am very chatty and loud. So be ready for me to be talking about it, especially if I go gaga about it. So you might have to like, oh man, this guy, he's too loud. How do I stop him?
Yeah, I'll get those right out to you, and I hope you enjoy them. I put a lot of love and time into them.
Awesome. Hey, you got me, Jazz. And once again, guys, link is in the description, so I'll highlight it there. Sir, have a great night, great weekend, and I truly believe this will not be the last time that we cross paths.
Sounds good.
All right, and let's see. On my side of things, well, hey, you might catch it next week. We'll see. We'll see. You never know, Vulcan. You shall see. I gotta see where the time allows me to. If the time allows me to go for it full like that video, I will see if I can. But I'm gonna definitely read it. I'm gonna try to get a few reads in of it. That's my goal. If I can get a few reads of it into next week, because I know I just got Nexus Scourge as well. And I've been wanting to try to get in a video for that. That's so I'm like, okay, let's see if I can get these in. If not, I will definitely highlight them very well on streams if I can't get videos done of either or. But anyways, yeah, we'll be back here next Friday night. Obviously, Clobby's Comic Shop, issue number 5. For those not in the know, Toxic Tuesday still on break. We'll be back August 6th. For the month of the Westerns, so that will be fun. And if I don't get the reviews done, I will definitely have a video or two out within the next few days as well. So, and of course, I will be on Midnight's Edge After Dark Tuesday and Thursday nights, and Comics Division's Thursday Night Throwdown on Thursday nights as well. So, anyways, chat, you've been awesome. Thank you for all the member chats. Thank you, Makini, for the super sticker, sir. Jennifer Grover, she sent the super chat earlier. Vulcan Lives for the direct donation. And to the new faces that came around here, I hope you all liked what you saw, and I hope that you all come back for more. And to my regulars, you know who you are. You know how fucking awesome you are. You all have a absolutely excellent weekend. Until then, goodbye, good fight,